Why is it significant?
Well, it's the beginning of a new world, I think. It's the Bretton Woods of the 21st century. It's the beginning of new financial, economic, and even political structures which will greatly influence the lives of the vast majority of the population. Probably not ours in Britain. We'll be quite late to the party, I think. But given that half the world is already in BRICS, that BRICS already is bigger than the G7, the so-called giant seven economies, it's axiomatic that our children and children unborn are going to feel the benefits of Kazan 2024.
Ukraine might see this very differently, of course. You say influence the lives of people. Russia's influencing the lives of Ukrainians.
Yeah, I mean, I knew, because you're Sky News, that's what you have to ask. But you and our governments, the governments of the West, are wholly responsible for the crisis in Ukraine.
Russia's not responsible.
You're too young to know, but in
Didn't Russia invade Ukraine?
You're too young to know, but in 2014, the West, including our country, overthrew the elected president of Ukraine and set in train a civil war.
Ukraine?
Listen, I'm here to talk about the BRICS. If you want to talk about the BRICS, we can
Isn't
do
that all in fine
You
with
just
the BRICS?
bumped into me in the corridor. I have, I think, graciously agreed to talk to you, but don't try and put me on track. Okay?
I'm just asking you questions,
No, but
following up your answers.
Yeah.
Are you supportive of the war in Ukraine?
What are you looking for? A gotcha? I have spoken.
It's just a simple question.
I
Are
have,
you
well,
supportive?
it's a simple question with a simple answer. I have adumbrated my view on Ukraine in millions of words over the entire
about just one
period.
word, yes or no?
No, there's no one-word answer to it, as you very well know. I have extensively written, spoken in Parliament, out of Parliament, on the crisis in Ukraine. You're welcome to consult it.
So you can't say that you
I
either
presume you
support it
know
or
how
don't
to.
support
I
it.
presume you know.
Are you
how
supportive
to
or not?
Google. How dare you ambush me with these trial questions? I'm here
It wasn't an ambush. I
for
asked
the.
them.
It is an ambush. It is an ambush.
You didn't think I'd want to ask
7/8 of your questions have been about my attitude to Ukraine. This is an international conference of some importance. And I'm here because half the world is here. You don't care about that. You care about your cheap Murdoch tabloid agenda. And that's probably, I know he doesn't, but you're trained in the Murdoch School of Journalism. And everyone watching already knows that. So
We've never crossed
I
paths.
have extensively expanded on my views on Ukraine, and I tried to give you the short version. In 2014, Western governments overthrew in a violent coup the elected government of Ukraine. I should be asking you the question, why did Sky News support that violent, illegal coup? Because that's the origin of all the disaster that has overtaken Ukraine.
How about Vladimir Putin's comments to the violence in the Middle East should end? Isn't that a bit rich, given that he's currently waging war in Ukraine?
What a take. Do you know that even your audience wants an end to the violence in the Middle East? Even your audience wants that? But you have to twist that.
Shouldn't there be end to violence all
You
over the
have
world?
to twist that into an attack on Russia in Ukraine. Why don't we talk about Palestine? Why don't we talk? Why don't we talk about the genocide in Gaza? Why don't we talk about the illegal bombardment of Lebanon? Why don't we talk about mass starvation? Why don't we talk about the ethnic cleansing on a scale not seen since the Second World War? Why do you have to talk about it in relation to Ukraine? I'll tell you why. You came here with a cheap agenda to attack Russia. But here's a point
Sky
that
News is covering all of those topics in those locations.
here's a point.
I am the Moscow
Here's
correspondent. That's why I'm covering Russia and Ukraine. And my question to you is, do you call for an end to the violence in Ukraine?
Of course.
Yes or no? Right.
Of course.
So you don't
Just
support
like the
war in
BRICS
Ukraine.
did. Just like the BRICS
So you
did.
don't support the
I've
war.
told you that I have spoken on Ukraine. If you were a journalist of any note coming to interview me, you'd already know my views, extensively revealed over 2 years and millions of words. You asked me about the Middle East. In the Middle East, there is a Holocaust going on. Even your audience considered it as such. Yet you want to condemn the call by the BRICS yesterday for seeking an end to that Holocaust. You twisted it in your very Sky News way into an attack on Russia in Ukraine. Why can't you compartmentalize in your mind for a moment that a Holocaust that is condemned by all right-thinking people was condemned by the BRICS here yesterday?
There's no condemnation of Ukraine.
Actually, there was a call by the BRICS for negotiated ending to the Ukraine war.
In the 43-page communique.
Well, it was mentioned once, but it was mentioned. It's a significant
One more
statement.
question, if I may.
Are you sure?
The US says North Korean troops are in Russia receiving training, and the fear is they'll be deployed to Ukraine to join Russian forces there on the battlefield.
I
What do you make of
I
that?
would have thought that was a fairy story. First of all, I'm not sure the North Korean forces need trained by anybody. North Korea has one of the most fearsome armies on the planet. And I think Russia has no need of North Korean troops. I think it's another cheap tabloid smear.
If it were
which
to
is-
happen, though, if they were to be deployed there?
If my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Let's leave it there. George Galloway, thank you very much.
What is amazing is that this tyranny called Russia has you wandering around the corridor smearing Russia. That is quite something. You wouldn't get a Russian journalist walking around in Whitehall. That wouldn't be allowed, would it?
That's the point, isn't it? Let's look for that Russian journalist in Whitehall. Press freedom in Britain.